Hi Scorpio, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Scorpio, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for the key to the week this week, you've got the Strength card, and the message here for me could not be any clearer. This week, my dear Scorpios, you have to follow your heart. This is about listening to that inner guidance, regardless of whatever anybody else says. Even that includes even me, right? Even this reading, take it with a pinch of salt. And I mean, to be fair, this is how I tell everybody to approach my readings. Take what works for you, take what speaks to you, take what resonates, and chuck the rest out. You know, it's not Raf's word is law. Oh gosh, the world would be a very different place if that were the case, darling. All jokes aside, the thing that you really want to focus on this week is what your inner guidance, your heart, that heart space within you, that part of you that speaks to, what pulls and propels you forward, what you can only describe as a feeling of something being right. And you know, it could be scary. The thing is with the Strength card as well, and we don't talk about this enough, the Fool card is like, yeah, take that leap of faith and you've just got to jump in and, you know, you've got to make it happen and all the rest of it. But one of the things that we don't talk about with the Strength card is you're being told that you have the strength, that you need to find the courage in order to demonstrate the strength, taking on something new, embarking on a new journey, finding that grit within you to say, my heart tells me that this is right for me right now. It doesn't make any sense, but you know what? I'm going for it regardless. The other thing with this card as well, you're really being invited to delve into your heart of hearts and ask yourself that question. What is it that I really want in the depths of who I am? What is it that is calling me forward right now? If you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose, and this resonates, hit the subscribe button. For your actions and options, you've got the Three of Swords. So there are cuts that are needing to be made here. Now, I just want to say, I'm not a doctor. I can't give you medical advice. What I can tell you is the Three of Swords can literally represent the heart, and the Strength card definitely represents the heart and the spine in the body. So this week, if you know that you have certain challenges around the heart, this would be a really good week to check in with your doctor, you know, go to see your specialist, all that kind of stuff. Not to fearmonger, but just to say, like, as a heads up, it's a possibility, because the actions and options, it's about what you do, what you initiate. And so there's some, as I've been doing these readings for a long time, I've started to notice that there is a little crossover with the bodily sort of aspect and the actions and options. Now, aside from that, the Three of Swords is basically saying that this week you are releasing something from the heart space. This could be an old idea, it could be an old, you know, piece of code or script from a life previous. And when I say from a life previous, doesn't have to mean a past life. Sometimes it can be our conditioning, like when we were younger, when we were children. Something that you have really sort of taken on board that might have been very painful for you to carry. This week you have a chance to release that or to let go of it. In some way, shape or form, this is a week where you can release the bonds of some kind of karma. And it's like you're stepping outside of that in order to give yourself a shot, to be brave enough to give yourself a shot at the life that you've only ever dreamed of. For your communications and conversations, well, shit me, you've got the Strength card again. In this deck, it's called Fortitude, or Fortitudis, which is the Latin for strength, I believe. It's really interesting. So you got the Strength card twice. This is a conversation that potentially is going to hurt to have. This could be with a family member, it could be with a colleague, it could be with somebody that you genuinely really care about. And it's like, so having this conversation is quite painful because it's like you're having to admit certain things, or maybe you're having to divulge to somebody how they've made you feel. And even that can be really hard, you know, like when you have those conversations with, say, a parent or a sibling, you know, about how they've really hurt you, or how they've really, you know, something that they've done has really affected you. And, you know, they can be really emotional conversations. And I wonder this week if you're having one, and by doing so, by being brave enough to have that conversation or to admit a certain thing, it frees you, but you got to find the courage to have that hard conversation. For your, oh, come on, brain. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this could be literally you having the courage to go out on a limb. Maybe you're presenting something really new. Maybe you're deciding, actually, you know what? I'm in the 3rd year of my degree and I'm not interested in finishing it. Maybe, you know, you've gone so far down the way, I don't know, maybe you decided you were going to be an engineer. You get 3 years into it and you're like, you know what? I don't want to do engineering. I want to be a vet. You know, it's like 3 years of your time, your effort, your money. It's a really scary thing to change something so big, but it feels like at the depths of you, there is a big change being made here. And it's like, even though it doesn't make sense, you just have to go for it. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, this could be a moment at which you admit, you know what, there's a lot of nepotism here. I am not valued, while it might seem like I am, or, you know, it feels like I am, or a lot of people say like, oh, you know, we really love you and da 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 da. It's like you take a moment to step back and say, but when I examine the way that everybody acts and the way that I'm actually treated, there's a disconnect here. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, honestly, I really feel like this is you retiring a certain service, maybe letting go of an employee if you have any. This could also be a hard conversation that you're having to have with an employee that you know is kind of, it's the beginning of the end. Do you know what I mean? It's really weird, like the feeling that I get from this. And we've all been there, right? At least anybody that's around my age has been there at least once in their lives. When you have a conversation with a boss and you're kind of like, this conversation has just spelled the end of this job. You know, for any number of reasons. It's not about right or wrong. It's just you feel it. Once you've had that conversation, you're like, yeah, it's not going to be the same from here. And I know from here on in, things are going to be very different. And I am already going to, you know, I'm on my way out. For those of you that are business owners, I feel like this. And if you're a one-man band and you don't have any employees, this could be where you decide, actually, you know what, I need to outsource. I need an employee. I can't do this on my own. This could be a really big moment of admitting to yourself that actually you need assistance. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, I mean, especially with the Three of Swords, this could be a moment where you withdraw your support. It's like where maybe you've been doing something or helping someone, or maybe you've been really involved in a certain process to do with your family or your peer group or even your community, because you cared so deeply for this thing or this person or this situation. And it's like now you look at it and you're like, you know what, I just don't have the energy anymore to put into this. I'm actually going to focus more on my own life. For your love and relations, you've got the King of Swords. Look, this could be a powerful week for discussions, conversations in your marriage, in your partnership. It could also be a powerful week where you and a partner really decide to take the next step, or certainly take things to a next level. So for some of you, this could be about engagement. Maybe you've been afraid to get married because your parents made a complete shit show of it. Maybe you've been afraid of, you know, getting in a relationship because you've had so many awful ones. And suddenly there's an opportunity to do something very different, or to take something in a new direction. If you are single and you're meeting somebody, it could be an air sign person. This would be an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. But especially because you've got the Three of Swords here. This could be somebody that is in, I mean, it could be anything from you know, a chef that works with knives and stuff, right through to somebody, and the reason I say that is because you've got the Three of Swords here and the Strength card. It could also be somebody that works in a demonstrative field. So, you know, it could be somebody that is an actor. It could be somebody that is, you know, the King of Swords is usually people that are in, you know, law, legalities, you know, principalities, all of that kind of stuff. But this is somebody that's very overt with what they do. So I won't go as far as to say that they're a celebrity, but I would say that this is probably somebody that's very well known in their field. And that in itself is going to come with a whole lot of stuff that you will need to find a way to navigate. Excuse me. For your money and materials, you've got the Ten of Wands. I actually really like this. For those of you that are, I mean, for some of you, this could literally be moving energy. Moving, changing home, selling a home, buying a home, moving to a new space. The other thing is as well, because you've got this Ten of Wands, when it comes to your money, your finances and your resources, this could be breaking ties, cutting bonds of a financial nature. So again, maybe you've been supporting somebody financially and this is the point at which you say, I can't do this anymore, or actually I won't do this anymore. It could be a really potent time. This, you know, I've got to say, my dear Scorpios, you guys are massively resilient anyway, but this week I would be really delicate with yourself, okay? And then finally, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, you got a double hit of the Strength card on top of the Ten of Wands. You must, you know me, I don't like to tell anybody what they should or must do, but this week you gotta look after your back. Your back, your heart and your spine. These are the three aspects of you that really need care, attention. You know, if you're moving boxes, you do that, you know, all the, you know, the usual stuff that we never do. Bend your knees, right? Lift from your legs, not your back. You know, if you're going running, you know, do a warm up and a cool down. Like this week, just really look after yourself. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. It certainly looks like a week where you are really getting to the heart of yourself. And, you know, that stuff is never easy, but it is always worth it. Take care, and I'll see you soon.